What's up, guys? My name is Thomas Pauly. I'm a 5'9" dunker with the unofficial 38-inch vertical. Here's a little bit of what I can do. In 8th grade, I was really close to touching rim. Oftentimes I'd be inches away and just kept missing. But then the unexpected happened. One day in my PE class, I was much closer than usual, and finally, I got it. After that, I focused more on low rims, trying to get some 9-foot dunks. It started to become more consistent, and then one day, I hung on rim on 9.5 feet. Then a few days later, I dunked a mini ball on 9.5, and then I started to grab rim. That became easier, and I was just trying to dunk a tennis ball, and I kept trying to hang on rim. Then it all came down to this one day, July 11th, 2025. It was very hot out, and I was dunking, and I raised the rim to 10 feet. Then all of a sudden, I was really close to hanging on rim, and then I got it. But it didn't stop there. Later that day in the evening, when it was much cooler out, I was still jumping high, so after a couple lobs, I threw down my first dunk. I was so excited and just blown away. It had only been 5 months since I touched rim, and I just got my first dunk. Later in August, when I just got back from vacation, and on my first session back, I dunked on 9 feet 8 off a self lob. I had never done this before, I wasn't even close, and I just threw it down. At this point, it was my last month on THP, which I had started in June, and school was starting. I decided not to play football and focus just on jump training. Every day after school, I would go to the gym and lift, and then on my off days, I would jump. And then I ended up getting my first self-lob dunk on 10 feet in October. At this time, I also tested my vertical. I thought it was 36, but now when I look at it, I couldn't even hang on rim two-handed. So I probably tested a 33 to 34-inch vertical, which is probably 2 to 3 inches up from the summer. Now it's basketball season, open gyms are starting, and I'm getting to jump in indoor courts. Even though I should have been working on basketball, I was just still so focused on dunking, and that's what I did for a lot of the time. And one day, I had a jump session after school. I was feeling good, and on warm up, I got my first two-hand rim hang, and then this happened. The best dunk I had ever thrown down. After basketball season, I had started to become pretty fatigued, my vertical wasn't improving at all, and I maybe even lost some bounce. Later in the season, during another open gym, I was feeling really good, and with a bit of adrenaline, I threw down my first two-hand. At this point, I wasn't even dunking super consistent, and I just threw down my first two-hand dunk. Once the season ended, I had just 1 week before track, just barely enough time to deload, but what do you know, still able to catch a few dunks. While most sports would fatigue my vertical, track was the one that helped me more than anything. With how much faster I had gotten, it allowed me to jump much higher. At this point, I tested a big PR on the jump mat, got 35.1 compared to the 34.2 from basketball. In March, I had my best session yet, got my head at the backboard, threw down an even better two-hander, and I punched these one-handers. Later on in April, I got my first off dribble dunk. This was a huge improvement and really boosted my confidence in dunking. That day I also tested an official 35-inch vertical. I think I could have got higher on the day of, but the concrete was pretty slippery and I didn't have a very big run up. My sessions after that were pretty consistent and getting 10-foot dunks, and then one day in slides I started jumping, and that's when I did this. Dunks left and right, literally the best dunks I've ever done in slides. The rim was measured at exactly 9'11". At this point, dunking on 10 feet became a little too easy for me. I then hit an off backboard dunk, also in slides. A lot of this came with just getting stronger in the weight room and jumping consistently. This will work for most of you who are new to jumping, but as you improve, specificity must increase. So at this point, I was going for my first windmill. I started my series of lifts I was doing in jump sessions. Some sessions were better than others, and each week I didn't always jump higher, but eventually, on one day at the end of my first week for my 5th mesocycle, for short terms, a mesocycle is a month-long training period out of a 5 to 6 month macrocycle, which is like the whole thing, and the mesocycle are little bits. So at the end of the week, I was jumping, messing around, not even a scheduled dunk session. I just became really close. Low runs were feeling really good, so I went to 10 feet. And after only a few attempts, I threw it down. I was so blown away, and I honestly can't even believe it to this day. That rhymed unintentionally. I measured the rim to make sure it was legit. Sure enough, 9'11" on the dot. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Comment if you guys have any video ideas.